As you will see, Tracy Banks is no targeted individual. She's engaged in targeting. That's why you see the fake sun idle as she crosses path. And as she opens the door, impossible light activity remains inside of the apartment, occurs inside of the apartment in the form of flashing engineered light inside of the apartment while opening the door. That has nothing to do with what is a product of any sunlight. Contrary to what I do as I walk, the fake sun moves. So pay attention to Exhibit A. This is exposing the difference between the demon that's engaged in targeting, all right, and the person that is the targeted individual. All right, this is the movement of the fake sun as I move, okay? You see how it remains stationary while I remain stationary and Tracy Banks walks away? It is not the same experience of the target individual, showing who Tracy Banks is actually stalking by even including walking away. The fake sun progresses, as my documentation shows, as I progress in the parking lot, like I've documented at all hours. 8WHC403 is gang stalking. The video that I just captured moments ago is showing what is activity creation while the demon is in the living room, license 5WB715, and beating on the floor while a demon is in the parking lot creating light activity in relevant position. They're monitoring together while the fake sun moves as I move. When Tracy Banks walks in this direction, the fake sun remains stationary. That is not what this is. Amplified train is Tracy Banks monitoring while a demon is crossing path. That's a Latino male who's stalking someone else. Mental illness is exhibited in their pattern of conduct. Walking south on what is Vine Avenue, crossing path. Tracy Banks moving her vehicle. You have what is the third party and the vehicle coming onto the grounds, and the fake sun is moving as I move. This is also not over Alvarado Gardens. License 8WHC403 is monitoring a woman's vagina, stalking a woman in a private space. He's a sex offender, and so is the city of Ontario, where the demonic pattern of conduct with a gang stalking mother who's a pedophile. He is a sex offender, so is the city of Ontario, monitoring a woman in an apartment, stalking together with the city of Ontario, where the sun is not outside of my bedroom apartment window, like I documented in the video that you saw today, referencing stolen evidence by this same entity that's still gang stalking, and the fake sun is moving as I move, which is not Tracy Banks's experience. That's not that demon's experience while he's driving away, and my documentation shows the fake sun moves as I move through the sunroof of my vehicle, through whatever vehicle that I'm in. It's not the shared experience of the demons who are stalking versus the one who is being targeted. Okay, this is the P.O.C. and that's the evidence of what is a demon that's gang stalking with the psychopath that's beating on the living room right where I'm positioned, where the entity is engaged in what is monitoring under an idle fake sun from 9 a.m. until what is 3:40 p.m. And Union Pacific is impossible. That's the train. The Ontario train is impossible to hear at any location over here. That is coexisting with what are the demons who are pacing in vehicles and on foot. And I'm showing you what is the fake sun that's stationary while Tracy Banks walks away, which is called crossing path. As I move, that fake sun moves. Not the same experience versus, that's the difference between the demon, the witch, the gang stalker, the psychopath, and the one that is indeed being targeted. This is P.O.C. It's the same right here, Exhibit A. Those are the ones that are losing custody of their kids. 9CZCO79. All right, this is the entity that's gang stalking on video this morning, continuously engaging in that under that light source that's remaining over your apartment is the evidence demonstrating impunity, and the entity is doing so on an ongoing basis. The same family exhibiting severe dysfunction, including minor children and a whole family full of demons that are gang stalking. They're all engaged in monitoring together, and this is malice and impunity, and this is why they're going to prison and mental asylums. This is P.O.C. That's activity creation by, again, license 9ZCZ079. And as they engage in what is walking on the sidewalk, never in the natural environment, ever, is walking under the sun going to cause your shadow to appear on the inside of an apartment. Crossing path license F50FIVE is a demon stalking with impossible light activity underneath that carport, like you've already seen these same demons do when I'm documenting them pacing in the engineered environment. That license with the gray Cooper is gang stalking with children, one after another, pacing. Engaging in domestic terrorism and psychological torture with children is the evidence speaking to the intent to abuse them and keep them engaged in that POC with the government. This is exposing public corruption. And these are all sex offenders monitoring together. They're accessing license 9TAZ076. And this is the same old biddy that was monitoring me this morning. It's not a personalized crime. It's not personal with regard to the identity of the entity. It is personal with regard to monitoring me. License 9TAZ076 and using this old woman is the same pattern of conduct with regard to the maintenance of a fake son. This is the same one that's going to federal prison. Gang stalk with Ontario police, April 7th, April 8th. Ontario police that are crossing path on Vine Avenue as I'm documenting seeing him and you know that he's gang stalking me now. Very specific and very demented pattern of conduct of targeting someone and outwardly demonstrating what is a desire to appear nonchalant and separate. But the fake son and the engineer light evidence directly disproves that, and that's why this entire community is going to be prosecuted. They're all stalking violations of the Violence Against Women Act. They're all gang stalking as the movement of the fake son versus the idle presence of that fake son. As they move around, they're pacing. As I move around, that fake son moves as I move. That is not the shared experience, and that is the co-defendants of the pedophile, the sex offender, which they all are, while they're gang stalking with Tracy Banks. This is P.O.C. And this is evidence of the shared mental illness while a demon in Unit 55 is creating amplified audible activity while I document their sexual violence. And they're all engaged in as heavily surveilled as I'm showing is ongoing on the venue of the internet. Okay, this is POC. It's currently 3:43 p.m. That's Unit 41. That's Avanath Capital Management employees and the occupants engaging in what is demonstrated impunity. Gang stalking with the City of Ontario as well. The sound of the amplified train is impossible audible activity. You can exchange that with gang stalking by sirens, gang stalking by amplified plane, gang stalking by amplified helicopter, gang stalking under an idle light source that's over your apartment. You don't have to look at me or talk to me. The entity is obsessively gang stalking with impunity. That's why they're going to prison. And those adults in Units 41 are going to mental asylums, every single last one of them. It is currently, again, 3:44 p.m. This is the position, again, of the fake son that's remaining over me where Tracy Banks leaves that location. That is not the experience of the actually targeted individual. All right, the fake son remains, and that's the point of capturing that documentation, showing that a community is gang stalking with the government. This is POC, this is demonic pacing, and while they drive, also, engineer light drags across the walls and on the ground. They're demons that are pacing together. This is POC. And this is a sex offense. They're all monitoring my vagina as a community as well as I am physically indisposed in the restroom, which is also public information, under an environment where the fake son sits idle all day long. And the City of Ontario participating in the elements of monitoring speaks to the sex offender. That is Paul Leon, that is Mike Lorenz, that is Michael Gherkin. All right, that is Alan D. Wapner. These are public officials that are engaged in the pattern of conduct. That's a residential street going 25 miles per hour. It's a means of amplified audible activity, and driving fast does not make amplified audible activity more realistic. Pay attention to the simultaneity of my naming public officials who are exposed as sex offenders and domestic terrorist leaders, while demons are monitoring my vagina together. As surely as you see pacing and light activity under the fake sun, that's the significance of hazard lights on under a fake sun, the same placement where the sun is rising as it's showing at 7:21 in the morning, and which has no placement outside of my bedroom window. That's the specific environment where that is ongoing, not the natural environment. This is POC. Tracy Banks is indeed a witch, practicing witchcraft, spiritually attacking, stealing my content, profiting from it, misrepresenting her identity and status while she is gang stalking. That's why she's going to a mental asylum. So are her co-defendants in Unit 41. So is her co-defendant in Unit 55. And these demons are gang stalking in the past, stalking with the method of flashing light, stalking, creating light activity while they open and close their doors. All of the demons pacing, going inside of their vehicle, stalking with amplified noise on Vine Avenue, and doing so while I'm documenting the people of the state. That includes, again, Alan D. Wapner, Michael Gherkin, Mike Lorenz, Paul Leon. These are the public officials engaged in federal stalking monitoring in the City of Ontario. Sexual violence and public corruption, it's facilitated by the government and the people of the state together. This is POC. It is currently 3:46 p.m.